I'm going to play this clip of Bob Dole. This is when he ran from, because people are talking about how nothing can get done in Congress now, and of course the media plays it as if it's both sides do it. Both sides do it. The president has to compromise. So, and the point that we've been making here at the Young Turks is that there's been a huge slide to the right over the last 30 years. And here's a good example of it. Bob Dole used to be considered, now Rachel Maddow talked about this last week. Bob Dole used to be bred and dyed in the wool, as they say, conservative. He was a conservative. He wasn't a moderate. He was the conservative. He was the standard bearer for the Republican Conservative Party in the Senate for decades. Bob Dole.
There were people to his right, but not a lot.
Right.
He was certainly not a moderate Republican.
No, he wasn't a moderate.
Yeah,
he was a conservative.
He expanded the war in Vietnam, and he felt there was no health care crisis when Clinton was trying to advocate for a better health care system.
So there you go, right? So there's a conservative. So here's a speech that he gave from 1996, and let's just listen to it.
I've worked on the food stamp program proudly, and the WIC program, and the school lunch program.
I have learned in my own life, from my own experience, that not every man, woman, or child can make it on their own. And that in time of need, the bridge between failure and success can be the government itself.
Wow. Is that Bob Dole or Bobby Kennedy?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, right.
Is this pre-Viagra
so this
commercials?
Yes, this
after?
is right before the Viagra commercials. And but look, I just think, yes, he learned on his own experience that everyone can make it on their own. And now we call those people takers.
Yeah,
that's what they call takers. So here he was sticking up. So he was for the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act. He was for welfare. He was bragging about expanding the WIC program. There he was talking.
Tell everyone, do you happen to know what WIC stands for? Just people, just because the WIC it gets
white men in control is what he thought it was standing for.
Women, infants, and children.
Women,
no,
infants.
I know what it really stands for.
No, I'm just saying that who's against that?
They are.
They're against infants.
They are. They want them to go to work, but they don't want to have daycare. They don't want to have health care.
Well, and if they were married, they also didn't receive the same benefits.
Right.
The same people who are pushing them to get married, whether they should or not.
Then they got less benefits.
Yeah.
But so that was Bob Dole in 1996.
Fewer benefits.
And he was on the TV last week lamenting about the modern state of the Republican Party. And here's what he had to say about it.
I think they ought to put a sign on the National Committee doors that says closed for repairs until New Year's Day next year, and spend that time going over ideas and positive agendas.
Wow, they should spend that time, the Republicans should spend that time going over ideas and positive agendas, and man, is that guy suffering from dementia. That's all I could say. He is obviously, if Reagan were alive today, the Republicans would want him dead.
But that started during the Reagan era. I mean, it was Reagan who was courting the Christian right. So
he
when
started
Bob
this
Dole
creep.
Yes.
But now that was 1996. So Reagan was president in the 80s. That was 96. And look where we are now.
But the bridge to the evangelicals was through Ronald Reagan. And the whole switch to that, and the irony being that Jimmy Carter was religious and was much more devout than Reagan.
How about that? That is the irony. Wow, I didn't even think about that until you just said no. The thing that people are talking about was, wow, they just go, look how far it slid. They have slid to the right. The country's been dragged to the right for the last 30 years. But nobody says why. Like, people keep thinking this is just a matter of politics and the zeitgeist of the time and it's a flux. No, this is systemic. This has been happening, like you said, since Reagan for the last 30, 35 years. This is not going away, and no one's asking that question. Why? Why are we like this? Why are the politicians, they can't even be like Bob Dole in 96? And I say, it's because of the Telecommunications Act. It's because that you're allowed to own as many TV, newspapers, and radio stations in the same market as you want. We have media conglomeration, and we have Fox News and right-wing talk radio, and that is what's changed our country forever.
I'm really happy that Dole spoke out, and I don't think that Republicans get enough time talking about thoughtful things that they care about, because all we hear about are these sort of ludicrous agenda things from the Tea Party. So I was happy that he spoke out. I do like when people can who are proud of their party can also stand and criticize it.
If Bob Dole had won, he would have been elected in 1996. He would have left office in January of 2005. Not sure that guy should have been president 8 years ago. I'm sorry. By the way, in 2010, I know you realize that guy was.
Yes.
We should keep him. Bob Bennett from Utah, beaten by the Tea Party in a primary in 2010. Bob Bennett had like perfect ratings from the American Conservative Union, the NRA, the Chamber of Commerce. He wanted to restrict abortion. He hated gay marriage. He tried to block it in D.C. He supported Bush on wiretaps. He would have supported Obama on that too. He supported a flat tax. Right? He wanted to repeal the inheritance tax. He said literally that it's unfair to burden the top 1% with all this tax burden. So, and these guys were like, no, he supported a fence.
And so what was they upset he supported this, what? What did he support?
Bank bailout.
The bailout, bank bailout.
Gone, beat him.
You didn't let our country.
Yeah, you let our country down. That guy has every reason to be so pissed off against it. He voted against state health insurance for children.
And they primaried him.
Primaried him, beat him.
Primaried him, you're out.
Gone.
So I just found it interesting because Bob Dole made that comment last week and people were talking about it. Nobody was talking about why. Nobody's saying why is this happening? And I think it's because of the Telecommunications Act, the fact that corporations own everything now. There's no individual ownership in media and radio. And radio is so concentrated, even the quote unquote liberal station in Los Angeles is owned by Clear Channel.
Is that right?
That's true, yes.
Absolutely.
I tried to get my show on there. You call up the Clear Channel. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh,
yeah.